This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the MicroCap Conference 2016 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. With me right now is Andres Ocampo from GeoPark. It's a publicly traded company with the symbol GPRK. Andres, welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks very much, and thank you for having me here. It's great.
It's great to have you on our program. So for our audience, let's start off with an overview of the company.
Well, GeoPark is an oil and gas exploration and production company, and we're based in Latin America. And we came to Latin America with the vision of building a real independent E&P business. We have thousands of companies like GeoPark in the United States or Canada, but really in Latin America there's just a handful of companies like us. The acreage, the hydrocarbon acreage in this area has been largely dominated and controlled by state companies. This is a region that is second to Middle East in terms of hydrocarbon potential, so it's a great opportunity with fairly little competition in our view. So with that vision, we started the company in 2002 with some acreage in the south of Chile, where we were the first private oil and gas company, and we are today the only private oil and gas company producing in Chile. And we started from scratch, so from zero reserves and production, we built ourselves to what we have today, which is over 22,000 barrels a day production base, a 2P reserve base of over 120 million barrels, valued by DeGolyer and McNaughton by over $1.6 billion in the recent December 2015 certification, and an exploration resource base of between 1 to 1.5 billion barrels of additional resources. Until 2011, we were mostly a Chilean producing company, and then we started expanding internationally. We acquired a few companies in Colombia in 2012, where when we entered. In 2013, we entered Brazil. In 2014, we entered Peru. In 2015, we did an attempt in Mexico, which recently did an energy reform and opened up the E&P world for private investment. It was very competitive, so unfortunately we didn't get awarded any blocks, but we look forward for the incoming rounds from Mexico, and hopefully we will be able to set up a presence there. And that's how we created and we built this portfolio of assets throughout Latin America. Last thing, in 2014 we listed the company in the New York Stock Exchange with the ticker GPRK, as you were saying before.
So the company has assets in Chile, Colombia, and Peru, correct, right? And then you also have some exploration going on in Argentina as well. Am I just making sure we got them all?
That's correct.
Okay. So what I want to know then, these are 4 different regions in Latin and South America. What's the geopolitical landscape like? As you said, there were state-run companies that were producing the oil in some of these countries for a long time. So please tell me, what's it like now?
It's great. I mean, Latin America is a region that has everything. It has natural resources, it has demand, it has market for our product, it needs energy, it has human capital, it has finance capital. There's lots of capital available in the region. It has very deep capital markets locally in each of the countries, but also there's lots of international capital flowing into Latin America, and it's been in the history. So it's a region that has everything. I mean, it's really a great place to build a real independent E&P business.
And what I want to know too is, you say you started in Chile, then you moved to Colombia. Tell me a little bit about the assets that you also have in Peru and Argentina.
So in Argentina today, what we have is some exploration acreage, fairly low risk exploration acreage in partnership with Plus Petrol, which is one of the leading independents in the region, and the other one with Wintershall, which is a subsidiary of BASF, the German company. These are low-risk exploration assets that we are going to be drilling the first half of 2017, so we're looking forward to that. And in Peru, what we have is a long-term project. We have a sizable asset that has over 80 million barrels of reserves. It has a field discovered that is surrounded by significant or sizable exploration acreage, and that is a project that we look for probably in the longer kind of term.
So with oil and gas, we know it can be cyclical sometimes. How does the company mitigate that risk on the downturns?
So first goes to the quality of the assets that we have. Really, we have assets that produce very good cash flows in any oil price environment. So at $25 oil price, 85% of our production is cash flow positive. So we have very low break-evens. We were able to drive our costs down significantly since 2014. So our cash cost per barrel is down 55%. Our total operating and production cost is down 63% since 2014. So being able to manage our cost effectively was the number one tool to protect from that risk. And the second one is we do have some hedges on our balance sheet. So we have 6,000 barrels a day hedged with a floor price of 50. So that's a pretty good price to have coverage on, and that goes until the end of June next year.
And what's the competitive landscape like? I mean, are there other companies now that it's not a lot of state-run companies in each of these countries? Is the competition now getting a little bit more aggressive?
I mean, not really. One of the things we like about Latin America is, competition is a relative measure, and if you measure it with the United States, it's fairly non-competitive. There's a few companies like us that are also looking to grab some acreage in the area, but it's not really that competitive.
And what's your background? How did you get into this business?
Well, I did probably 10 years of investment banking. I always worked for the oil business, first originally at Citibank and then at Credit Agricole, and then 6 years ago I joined GeoPark.
And from what you can tell me, moving ahead, what are some of the goals and milestones for the company for the rest of 2016 going into 2017?
So the remaining of this year, we have a continued drilling program in Colombia, which had great success this year. I mean, we announced some of the results. The team there has been doing an incredible job in finding lots of oil and increasing production significantly quarter by quarter since we started in Colombia in 2012. The type of assets that we have there are, very generous. I mean, we find every year we are able to find more oil and increase both our reserves and our production. This year we increased the reserves in one of the fields, that's the Jacana field, and our team is we are actually going to continue doing investments there to fully appraise the size of that field, which hasn't been defined yet. So probably we are going to investing, as I said earlier, in our exploration in Argentina and Brazil. But the main focus of this year and next year programs is going to be in our Colombian assets. That's probably is going to take probably 70% of our capex next year and almost 80% of the capex this year. And we hope that is going to give us some good production growth for the company.
And where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
So you can find more information at www.geo-park.com. Or you can reach any of us, and we're always available, to answer any questions.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive. And we're at the MicroCap Conference 2016 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. With me again is Andres Ocampo from GeoPark, publicly traded company with the symbol GPRK. Andres, thank you so much for joining me.
Very nice to meet you. Thanks very much.